Hey guys.
Hi folks. Right, before we get started, this is a bit of a different stream setup because we're using the PlayStation. Can I just get a bit of feedback from both, from Mixer, Steam and Twitch viewers? Can you see us and hear us okay? You shouldn't be able to hear game music, you should be able to hear me droning on, and you should be able to see the game. So, if you could just let us know. So, Twitch all good, says Turbo Props. NEC, thank you. 5 out of 5, thank you, Bummy Tester. Mixer taking a bit longer to tell us. Come on, Mixer.
And GoldenEye is...
All clear, says Jim Bins. Thank you very much, Jim Bins.
Anyone on Steam?
The 21 people on Steam. Come on, folks. Right, I think we've got enough to get going. So, what are we seeing today?
Right, today we are taking a look at the PlayStation 4, how Train Sim World performs in that, so remote control. So yeah, this is basically Train Sim World on PS4, which is having its big release on Tuesday.
Tuesday is the big release for console, and on Steam and PC. But the game is slightly loud. Okay, that we can do something about. So I'll scroll that middle one down a bit. No, that's the microphone. That's fine where it is. Scroll down. That's it. Drop that down. A bit more than that. Up. Sorry. Too quiet now.
Is that too quiet?
Yeah, up again. A bit more. Right. Okay, folks. How's that? Does that sound better? Right. So yes, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One major release on July 24th, which is Tuesday, I think.
It is indeed. You might have seen some countdown images that we've been posting up on Facebook and Twitter. We're on number 4 today, isn't it? Yep, number 4. So keep your eyes out. We'll be carrying that on over the weekend and on Tuesday.
So one of the questions I know I've seen asked quite a lot, Luke, is... are those numbers really models?
That is a very good question. A lot of people have been asking this. They're not really models. They are some fantastic work from our creative department, rendering those on top of screenshots. So
very cleverly done.
They are very cleverly done, yes.
Very cleverly done. So yes, so if you're looking at the countdown images, they're all screenshots. Do they say what platform the screenshots are taken on? Because they're not on PC, are they?
I don't think they were showing the platform number.
No, so they're taken from, if I remember rightly, a variety of different platforms, and the numbers have been sort of added in. If you haven't seen the countdown shots yet, go and have a look on Facebook, and you can take a look. It's good to catch up. Anyway, so we're going to get started here. So I'm having a drive first, and I'm going to have a look at just show you some Northeast Corridor. Then we're going to have a look at some Great Western Express. Then we'll look at a bit of Rapid Transit. Then we're going to cycle around and go back and look at the freight on Northeast Corridor. And then we think we'll probably finish up with a bit of service mode, walking around and riding on trains for a little bit. So trying to give a bit of a broad overview on what this is, show you what it's running on the PlayStation. This is running on a regular PlayStation, it's not a Pro. And there's nothing fancy about it. It's just this is the experience you should get. I am using the DualShock 4 controller, so there's no voodoo. What I am going to do is I'm going to start off here once we get in the train. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial about how the controller works, how the controls are mapped. Now, if you've used an Xbox One controller on a PC, or you've used the Xbox One controller on an Xbox One playing the game, then the controls are actually going to feel quite natural and quite familiar. But if you don't know, then I'll fill you in, because I know not everybody here, particularly those who've got PlayStation, are eagerly awaiting to play with it for the first time, will need to want to know that information. So just wait for the game to load.
So I thought I would be paying some very close attention because I still need to learn the controls. Matt has given me a very quick crash course, but to be honest with you...
Wait, I'm not teaching you to crash.
Okay, crash course
reputation precedes me.
No choice of words in crash course, but a very quick lesson on the controls, but I'm going to be paying attention just as much as our viewers will be, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, is what we see on PlayStation would be on Xbox One on release. Pretty much GWB, they are the same build, same version, same content. Right, so right stick is how you look around. Left stick is how you move around. So we might walk around. If you want to use the right trigger, you can run. Don't run, walk. Come up here.
People getting their hashtag blame Luke's ready.
Yeah.
Even though Matt's at the controls, it's going to be my fault. Cool.
It's always going to be Luke's fault.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I got you guys trained.
We learn quickly here.
Right, so when you come up to a door that you want to get into, it pops up a highlight and it says X. So that's basically where you'd normally mouse click it. Use the X key to operate that. And when you want to sit down, again, you get the highlight up there that says that's triangles. It's a triangle to sit down. The first thing it's going to ask us to do is to unlock the doors. So I'm press and hold the left D-pad, or the left. It's not really called a D-pad on this console, it's this one up here, or left button, I think it's called. And we're going to unlock the right doors. X key to select it. What I am going to do is just fire up the safety systems and things. So if you press and click the right joystick, it gives you a mouse cursor. So you can use the left joystick to move the mouse cursor around. When you hover over that, if you press and hold the X, you can then move these controls. So let's just put it in start for a minute. Use that. Now let's go to access, turn that on. ATC, turn that on. And alert. And turn that on. If you now click, you can get back to being able to move around. Let's sit down here. Right, lock doors. Press and hold left button. And lock right. Antonis says, where can I get this fancy cap?
That is a very good question. We are currently modelling some very fancy Train Sim World merch. I've got my cap on. I'm also wearing a shirt which has driver written on the front of it. Where's the camera? There it is. It's also got the logo on the back. Don't know how well you can see that.
No one can see that. That's fine.
A bit too small
it's the
for me to
logo.
move
You've seen
around
it
in here,
before.
but it's the logo on the back. And Matt is wearing his badge as well. This is all merch that we're going to be giving away in contests that are coming soon. So keep your eyes open for the contests in the next few weeks. You might win yourself a nice fancy cap.
Right, so let me just get going, then I'll explain what I'm doing. Right, so when you're not in mouse control mode, so when you can switch to mouse control mode, right, and you can operate the controls by simply pressing X and moving using the joystick up and down. So you can do that. If you're not in mouse control mode, then, so because you want to look around or something, like see something awesome like that, then you can press the right trigger to move the throttle forward and the right bumper to move it back. I think that's what R2 and R1. R2 is forwards, R1 is backwards. The L2 and L1 buttons are for operating the brake, and then you use the air square button to switch between them. So at the moment, I'm operating the automatic brake, and if I press the square, you see it says independent brake on the top right. So now if I use L2, it operates the independent brake. And if I press X again, it switches over and I'm on the automatic brake again. So you can control all the different brakes. If you had a dynamic brake on a freight train, then it would cycle between all three of those. So, and then that changes the function of what your left trigger and left bumper or L2 and L1 buttons do. So let's get a bit more speed up. Reverser is then controlled with the left joystick in this mode, so left joystick forwards and backwards will operate the reverser. Again, at any point you can just click and you can go ahead and operate it by clicking and dragging, and it's a little bit more tactile. And I've seen people when we launched Founders Edition to just do it different ways. It's what's comfortable for you. That's better. Power on it. So if you want to get outside the train, have a look around. We've got access is telling us we've got speed reduction coming up. We're all right. Then if you press and hold the right joystick, you can now switch to different cameras. So we go external, press the X key to select. X is pretty much always your selection key. Go to front camera once we're at this bridge. Right, so having gone outside, you can't move the camera. You are still driving the train. There's this very specific decision because you're still in control of the train. You trip to the outside camera. You still want to be in control of the train, not suddenly find you can't drive the train anymore. When you want to move the camera, you need to press train, and that toggles it. It says camera mode. Now I can use my left stick to move forwards, backwards, left and right. Use my right stick to move the camera around. What you can do also, for those of you who are used to Train Sim 1, you can also use the right and left triggers to move vertically up and down, which is a new thing. And apparently if I'm not in the cab I can't hear what's going on and I make mistakes. Never mind. So we'll fix that in a minute. And then the other thing you can do is you can get yourself to a position maybe you're interested in. And you can use the R1 button, the right bumper, which is a camera lock, which means no matter if I look down, the camera doesn't go down, it locks the same height, which means you can get different views and things. It just makes that quite easy. So if you want to get back into the cab, you think, oh my god, I'm going backwards, what's going on? You go into the cab and you just press XX, it will always take you back into the cab. Don't have to worry about what mode is it and mess about. It's just press and hold the right joystick, XX, and we're in. Right, so release the brakes. Put some power into those traction motors. Connor Byrne on Twitch, will Deluxe Edition include extra maps and other? So do you want to give us a rundown of what the difference is between the editions?
Right, so the Standard Edition will include the GWE, Rapid Transit and the NEC. And the Deluxe Edition will include the GP40-2 locomotive and 2 bonus wagon types, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's the difference between the two editions. The Deluxe Edition, of course, also includes the same routes that the Standard Edition has.
Yeah, so basically the Deluxe Edition gets you the GP40, which you can run on the Northeast Corridor. I'm going to show some of the freight stuff off a little bit later on. Right, we've got a time to penalty coming up in quite a while. So I'm just going to just keep accelerating for a bit. I think we've got a 35 limit coming up if memory serves. That's what it's getting excited about. Now you don't have to run with access and ATC turned on. I'm doing it because I'm wanting to punch. And to show you what you need to do to operate it with the controller. The fact is that the full functionality of the locomotives is all present in the console version as well. So there's no cut down versions. You've got full access for everything. That's it. So the time to penalty is cleared to hyphens, which means we're now under the speed limit that's coming up. And then you can see the 59, 58, so the target speed, which is the speed I should be doing no more than, is coming down now. So there's get like a speed prediction curve to slow you down. It makes it quite easy to ride the route because it will slow you down and speed you up, and you can get a good idea of what's going on without having to worry about what's going on with speed limits.
As you say, all these safety alarm systems are included in the release, but just like the PC versions, they're off by default, and you have to switch them on using the control panel in the cockpit. Well, in the cab.
Reese, Ginger White Tea, you have the Great Western Express edition, so will it still include those rail lines? So it presumably will be Founders Edition. So Founders Edition will effectively on Xbox, there's an upgrade button that will appear on your interface. There's all the details are on our website. There's an upgrade button that will appear where you can just pay an upgrade price, which is really cool, a really low price, that will then upgrade you, then get you the extra routes and trains. Obviously on PlayStation it doesn't exist yet, so it's just this is your first opportunity to pick it up. How do PZB controls look like? So essentially, the way that the controller is mapped is that you've got circle, or the B key on an Xbox One, will operate something which is like an acknowledge button. on a safety system. So it's your AWS button, yellow in British trains. It's the PZ. It's the acknowledge button in these American trains for the access ATC, and in German trains it's the PCB Waxon button. If you then want to access the other functionality like free and Bethel 40, you just look down and press the appropriate buttons. I mean, I'm going to run some rapid transit. I'll run it with PZB on so that you can see. But it works reasonably effectively. Unlock the door, so hold left button and then do unlock right. Biz the Great on Twitch. What is the price of Train Sim World when you upgrade from Founders Edition, and are you able to upgrade to the Digital Deluxe Edition? Over to you.
The Standard Edition upgrade for Founders Edition owners is £9.99, and the Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade is £14.39, I believe. But yes, the answer is you can indeed upgrade to the Digital Deluxe Edition from Xbox Founders Edition.
Isn't there a discount on Founders at the moment?
There is right now. Yes, it's on sale right now. So there's no better time than now to get into Train Sim World on the Xbox One.
So hang on, those upgrade prices. So you buy Train Sim World Founders Edition, which is discounted, and then if you wanted the Deluxe Edition, it's another £14 something.
£14 and change, yeah.
Doesn't that work out cheaper than if you just bought the whole thing when it came out?
It does.
You heard it here first, folks.
It does, and that is why I said there's no better time than now to get into Train Sim World on the Xbox One.
If you haven't picked up yet, pick it up now. An upgrade on the day. Hey there, Citrus Sausages, how are you doing? Right, we are off. We're in an approach limited aspect at the moment. So all the tutorials show cold and dark corner burn, and yes, that's all still there. The content is fundamentally the same as the PC version. The only exception to that is Great Western, I think, had some of the services removed for the console version. Nothing major, just the some of the branch line ones. But the drop down, yeah, 30. And then so actually, if I show Cumberland, when we actually, rather than showing a freight service, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you Cumberland, not Cumberland, sorry, back, the New York free roam, because I can show you some cold starts and all the stuff that you're familiar with in other routes. I can show you all that on those levels very easily. Jamie D, what's that guy's name next to you? This is Luke.
Hi there, Jamie. I'm Luke, the community manager.
It says Train Sim Luke. You'll have seen him on the forums.
Stay a while forever is asking, does that mean that branch lines exist in PC, or do you still have to end the service before the branch?
The branch lines don't exist on the PC Stay a While Forever, but there are AI services that run those branches, so that there's trains running up and down them. Effectively, they come into the branch platform and then go off and disappear, and then they come back a bit later on. And those are the ones that were removed from the console, just because they don't really add a lot, but they were taking up some resources. So for the most part, everything is pretty much identical to what's on the PC. Can you go to any train station curb night? Any train station that exists on the route, if you want to stop the train, get out, walk around, you can do that. There's some limits to where you can actually walk around within the platforms themselves, but for the most part, you're quite free to do what you want. You can get out of the train, literally stop it now, get out and just walk the route if you want to. If you want to have a 30-mile walk, you can do that.
Very, very long track walk.
I don't know, people have done it. It sounds like a strange thing, but people have done it. Because there's collectibles on the route as well, so there's a bunch of objects that are around the route. We'll see if we can find one when we get to the next platform. Right, we've switched to cab speed signalling. Speed limit is 60. So yeah, there are people that some people really like the collectibles, and for those people, you can walk around and you can find it. I think there's three types of collectibles on this route, I think.
Matt's asking, are we taking requests? Well, we do have a
depends
suggestion
what the request
section.
is.
We do have a suggestion section in the forum that is always open. You're more than welcome to post your suggestion in
Recently, how much will the Xbox One upgrade will it? Do you want to just outline the upgrade prices on Xbox One?
Yep, certainly. If you're running the Xbox One Founders Edition, the upgrade to the Standard Edition will cost £9.99, and the upgrade to the Digital Deluxe Edition will cost £14.39. The upgrades will unlock on the 24th of July, which is Tuesday. You will see some buttons appearing in the menu. I do believe Martin is also posting up prices in euros and dollars if that's your local post.
Up to 45. So the rails draw into the distance, stay well forever, but the sleepers are tucked in a bit.
Oh, thank you for that feedback, Big John, on Twitch. Thank you very much.
Well, next we're making a stop at support bus. No, there are no plans to add jumping at the moment, Winkleman. There was actually jumping in very early versions of the game, and basically it caused all sorts of problems. All sorts of problems that were difficult to fix, and meant we would have had to spend a lot of time fixing problems caused by jumping, when really jumping actually offered no tangible benefit, except everyone does feel a little odd that they can't jump. I completely see where you're coming from, but yeah, the number of issues it caused, because you could get your head stuck in the roof of the train, for example, and all sorts of things like that, it didn't feel like a good use of computer resources to try and put those things. We're not on for 3 hours tonight, don't forget the AWS, that's the Tuesday stream. Running in a 45 limit at the moment, so while the track speed limit is actually 90 miles an hour, because of the signalling in front of us, we're actually limited to a 45 limit. The train will get very annoyed with me if I break that.
I'm just going to turn the microphone up a tad. There goes that better for you guys?
Oops, I think I took too long to deal with that.
Oh dear.
Oh dear!
So how long is it going to be until someone in the chat blames me for this one?
It was definitely Luke's fault. I was watching him mess about with screw icons of, with stuff on the bottom of OBS.
Oh no, we've got to blame that right there.
Blame Moggy. Actually, there you go, Fatima. Blame Moggy. Completely appropriate.
So what time is it released on Tuesday in BST? We can't give you an exact time, unfortunately, that's the nature of things, but
It's kind of out of our hands, isn't it?
it is kind of out of our hands exactly when it goes live, but it will happen on Tuesday.
Sometime on Tuesday, and it's probably different on all the platforms, and haven't got a good answer for you, I'm afraid, on that one. Just keep an eye out.
Don't forget the AWS is asking, can we have a look at the track from outside the car?
Yeah, let me get into Secaucus, and then once I've got the train stopped, otherwise we're just going to get banged out with more alarms and things. We're almost at Secaucus. This is what the reduction in speed is all about. What's the future of Train Sim 2018? Will TSW replace it or supplement it? They'll run alongside each other. There's a lot of people still playing Train Sim 2018, and there's a lot of content still being made for it. So it's it's another train experience. So
yes, and on that we actually had a release for Train Sim 2018 this week. We had the OBB 1014 released.
I was playing that last night. That's got wicked stars.
So yeah, those of you who might have seen it last night on that stream. But yes, that is a Pro Range locomotive which is available now. and it comes with 3 scenarios for the centering barn route.
Barmy Tafster, surprised I'm not blaming you as you asked about the limiter etc. on another screen. Well, let's blame Barmy Tafster for a bit, shall we? The next fault will be your fault, Barmy Tafster. Let's go with that. Let's just randomly blame people on the viewers for things I do, other people do wrong.
Sandtrain24 is asking, will Rosig be released before or after the big update on 24th? It will happen after. Those eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed that we did in fact have a new Rosignored article published today, so go check that out.
Yes. Some lovely new screenshots on there as well.
Some lovely new screenshots on that.
I'm running way behind time, but I did spend a lot of time waffling about how the controls work, so, and we've had a couple of failures. So. Blind Man Dan, no, the motion blur is not toggleable at this point on the console. We are looking at potentially putting some extra settings options in. Who has the easiest job, me or Lou? I think we've both got challenging screens. Challenging jobs, to be honest.
Well, as many people have pointed out so far, both of our jobs come with 3 monitors in the office, so just monitors everywhere.
Right. Get doors open. Step out. .3D ballast, 3D clips, 3D rails. Get back in the train. If I sit down, I can use the cameras. It's going low.
As you're going down there, you can really see how even the ballast under the track is all 3D as well. Beautiful details like that. Citrus Sausage is asking, can you get hit by a train?
Well, kind of, but it's not really what probably you're expecting. You sort of get pushed along by it, really. It's not. There's no actual event. There's no real detection of it. It's kind of not the purpose of the game. Lock the doors. This is one of the reasons we're late. I'm not looking at what I'm being asked to do. Let me shut, yeah, good. Right. Go a bit like the Kraken when you're releasing.
What is this running on? This is running on the PlayStation 4.
Driving it on the PlayStation 4 controller. On PlayStation 4. It's a regular PlayStation 4. We're not running it on a Pro or anything like that. It does run better on the Pro, although it's not optimised for the Pro. It does run better. But as you can see, it runs pretty well on the PlayStation 4. Just on your regular PlayStation 4 as well. Oh, have I not turned headlights on? Don't forget the little less. That's a big fail.
My fault again.
Run up to 45 signal limit. Let's get headlights on. Ditch lights. Let's turn the ditch lights on, even though they're not normally used in operation, just so we can see them outside.
And a good little demonstration there of the cursor mode inside the cab.
Yeah. We're good for signals. So external cameras. all the little details like springy hoses and all the rest of it are all implemented. Suspension between the vehicles. Screw isn't really too rocking too much, so we don't really see it very
I do like the way how they swing up. It's very subtle on this one though, because like you said, this route isn't very good.
Let's get up to 45.
Moggy's giving me a brain teaser here. If a class 43 left Bristol Temple at 9 AM and another left Paddington at 9:10, by the time they meet, how many cups of tea would Matt consume?
All of them.
All of them. 42. Default answer for brain teaser like that. What have I done this time?
I forgot I was following single speed limit. Then he went flashing up above the 45. I did go above it. There's a small difference between PS4 and Xbox One ZRL. Yeah.
We shall be showing some Xbox footage on Tuesday. Just going to have an extra long live stream on Tuesday because Tuesday is the big release day.
Right, let's give it lots of power. We've got clearance up to the 9 speed, which is 70 or 80. 80.
Leaning over a bit.
Nice bit of super elevation on as well. The other thing not to forget, of course, is that, of course I remember this just as we're going into a tunnel, just to make my life easy, is that you've got access to the normal share functionality on the PlayStation. I think there's equivalent on the Xbox as well. Okay, brakes on. So you've got access to the normal share functionality using the share button, so you can take screenshots, do video clips, and then you can take those video clips and edit them on the built-in editing facilities within the PlayStation. So you can put. I'm really looking forward to seeing what videos people put together just using what you can do on the PS4. Right.
Stay a while forever 2 is saying Xbox can save about 5 minutes of video, PS4 is an hour long.
So yeah, if I just press the share button now, say, there's a screenshot, so it's save screenshot. Boom, there you go, screenshot taken. Obviously, if you're using a capture card to a PC, which is how we're streaming it, then you can use your normal mechanism for doing it. But a lot of people using a PS4 don't have that, and the built-in system is actually really quite good. I was quite surprised how much functionality and how much power you get from the built-in system.
Indeed, as Moggy says on Mixer, that's the emergency brakes test performed.
Exactly, it's not saving the clip, therefore no incriminating evidence. I've got no idea what you're referring to, Moggy. No idea what went wrong. Seemed fine to me. Will Steam locos ever feature on console? Well, that's looking into the future, Andrew DWB. I'd certainly like to see that, but there's nothing announced or anything about the Steam engine. Fastly Fast, is this a game? Yes. It's a about driving trains in America, in the UK, and in Germany. How easy is it to port routes and trains marked from PC to the Xbox and PS4? It's not too bad, actually. It's not too bad. Basically, it's a case of we run it and we start working on where could it work better, what could we do differently to make it run faster. And then some of those optimizations we can go back onto the PC to make it faster for everybody. So when I'm watching what I'm doing, this all works.
LR Forever 2 is saying that it's a game and a job training tool. Well, there's quite a lot more to an actual driver's training than driving train sim all day.
I would say it's not a job training tool. It's really good for getting a really good idea for what a train driver and engineer does, and some of the challenges that a lot of the challenges that they face. But the real drivers and engineers go through much more training than playing a game. Bluntly, it's really, really good for understanding some of the challenges that are out there. We're in a 30 limit at the moment on an approach aspects. Andrew GWB, I would suggest you go and have a look on the fishing Facebook website. There's been a major announcement not that long ago that you'll probably be interested to see. Is there a guard buzzer to respond to? There are guard buzzers, yes, stay a while forever. In fact, no, we're running a 66 scenario next time.
Yeah.
But yes, there is a guard buzzer. Gamer Boys, what is the game called again? Train Sim World. Says it up. There. Slowing down. We're going uphill, that's why.
Also got it written on my hat. Yes, we're taking a look at Train Sim World on the PS4. Sorry, PS4? Yeah, PS4.
If you go too fast while driving a train, is it possible for them to crash? Yes, but all that happens then is the game fades out to black and says, "New train derailed." There's no celebration of the crash.
Dave Train 99 is asking, just joined, where did I get my hat? Well, this hat and the badge that Matt's wearing, and also the shirt that I'm wearing, because this is a TSW branded shirt. This is all part of a collection of merch that we are getting together, ready to give away as prizes for competitions in the coming weeks. So,
who wants to win some merch?
Yeah. So keep your eyes out for competitions. You might be able to win yourself one of these hats.
It's only a scary game, ESOurce, when I'm playing it. When anyone else is playing it, it's fine. Stairwell Forever, would future VR support be too much to ask? It's certainly doable. It's something that we're keeping an eye on with virtual reality, but at the moment we've got other things that we probably want to focus on more than VR. It's a relatively small market of people, so it's about delivering the changes and improvements that a lot of people are looking for at the moment.
The Lens is asking on Mixer, are you able to drive locomotives? Well, Matt is driving a locomotive right now. As well as that, you can be a passenger in a train, you can get out and wander around, you can couple and uncouple trains, you can switch points by hand. There's all sorts to do.
Right, and dropped to 15 as we enter Penn Station boundary. There we go, we're in restriction now.
We'll have enough time to find a collectible in Penn Station. Moggy would argue that Matt is barely driving, is more using the force. I thought that was my trick.
Are there any core updates to game for PC that comes on 24th? No, Dave, you've got them all. All of the core updates that we've been doing, all the core changes we've been working on, and content changes to make it all work on the console have already been delivered over the last few releases and updates. So the PC has already been benefiting from this now for quite some time. I think even the last update had some fairly significant performance improvements in it. So that's basically as we make changes across the platform. Well, the PC generally will be getting those changes quickest because it's easier for us to roll out, and then we make bigger rollouts onto the console platforms.
Happy Harry Gaming, we are currently on the NEC route. Just coming into New York Penn Station.
The other thing you can do is if you've got the big touchpad button in the middle here on the controller. If you press that, you get the map, and then you can zoom in with the right trigger and out with the left trigger. Move around it with the left joystick, so you can see what's going on. And then if you've got any of these manual junctions here, if you highlight them, you can press the X button to then change those junctions. A lot of the junctions on the main line, however, you can't change because they're being controlled by the computer's dispatcher. So we'll hold the left button and unlock right.
Blue Suns 84, this is the PS4 we're looking at today.
Here. So that's what we've been driving. We're driving the Amtrak City Sprinter, the ACS 64. Set the reverser to neutral and dislodge. Job done. Right, Luke. Feeling brave?
Let's give it a go. Right, we're going to drive the Class 66 in GWE next.
Said to Luke, what do you fancy driving? He said a freight train.
Freight train. People who know me are very familiar with my fondness of freight trains.
Cool. You use the left buttons to the R1 and R1 to flip between the things along the bottom there, just behind us, so you can't really see them. And then you can use the left joystick to move around. So we're going to go to Great Western Express. Press it again to go into it. Go to scenarios, and this is what you wanted to do, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do aggregate industries. Right.
Alright, I officially have the controller now. So. See if we can remember what Matt told us about the controls earlier on. How many of you were listening? We are now being tested on it.
Yeah, you guys have got help, Luke, yeah? I'm just going to sit here and judge.
Baked Bean Kid already in there, we're all doomed.
Sorry, he can't see anything anyway, he's blinded by my head. Is the bearded guy who features all the front page sections model on a staff member? No, I think you're talking about the model who the guy who was used in the heavy haul and so forth. No, that is a model of front driver.
That was a good run from the West Country, but it's now time to get down to business and unload these.
My turn for the hat. There you go, Baked Bean Kid. Oh my God.
Set up for shunting and reverse the train through the discharge facility to get these wagons unloaded.
There you go, baby and kid. Is that better? Can you see what we're doing now? Right. So you need to enter slow speed control mode on the EM2000. So if you press and hold the left button.
No, that's wrong.
That's the left button.
Pressing the horn. Right, there we go.
No, not that. Sorry, no. Press the circle to come out of that. Right, now press and hold the right joystick. Right, and then go internal cameras with the X. And then go over to the right to EM2000 and press X. Right, now you're in mouse cursor mode. So if you select the speed control button.
Used to using this
one
one
below it. Nope. Speed control button, that's it.
There we go.
Good. Now you need to press and hold the right stick again and go to internal camera, so XX essentially. There you go. Now you need to look down the bottom left and top right in the switch there. Okay. Set your reverser to reverse. Okay.
To press on that one.
Release.
There we go.
There we go. You never knew about the zoom thing stay well forever. So yeah, so you've got internal cameras as well as external cameras. So if you press and hold the right stick, then go to internal cameras, then you've got all sorts of places you can zoom around. So for in this case we want the M2000, and then you can press the F1 key. PC users, by the way, can bring that menu up with the 0 key. Okay. Release your automatic brakes. So remember your brakes are on your left button and left bumper. So if you press, right, so that's apply.
It's apply.
That's
release.
release. So you're operating your direct brake at the moment. So you need to press the X key, the square key, sorry, and then press the release button again. Now you're operating your automatic brake, and you can see the airflow indicator is just dying down. It's good. So if you now press the right trigger, just once, that's it, and that gives you a little bit of power. And that's all you should need. It'll soon speed itself up to 3 miles an hour.
We are moving.
We are moving.
The speed controller is working, so we should be able to just have a look outside.
Yeah, we've got little ways to reverse. Basically, this is reversing some aggregate wagons. Don't forget to look around and try. That triangle tripped up, or it was the Y key actually on the Xbox One, trips up a lot of people, so remember it. When you get to the outside view, you need to use the triangle or your Y button to unlock the, to go into camera mode. Yes, Dave Train, you can operate the levers on the side of the HKA wagons to manually operate each of the bins under the wagon. Not when they're loaded, only when they're empty. It's more of a toy than a useful feature, but it's an interesting toy. It's things to quibble with, basically.
I'm sorry guys if the camera motion is a little bit jerky. I'm just still trying to get used to the console controls.
The locos have different liveries, Big John. So Great Western comes with the Class 66 in the DB red livery and in the EWS maroon and yellow livery. Same as on the PC. Over on the Northeast Corridor, I think the GP38 only comes in one livery, and I can't remember.
In the EWS livery, I thought we were on the DB livery this time.
No, this scenario is on the EWS livery. EWS is lovely. Who knows what American railroad used to own EWS, and they have basically the same livery as this.
Ooh, I knew this one.
Peach lip because he knows everything.
I used to know this one. No, it slipped my memory. I used to know this one, but I can't remember now.
Wisconsin Central.
Ah, of course it is, yes. Big being kids, everyone's Googling it now.
When I first found that out, it was, really? I went and had a look and like, oh my word, it's a GP38 in EWS livery. That looks really weird. Right, as we roll up to here, it's an all-automatic unloading facility. It's done on the fly, so as long as you're at the right speed, which is how it's all set up to be, 3 miles an hour, and all the wagons just automatically unload. So as you see them go through the thing, you'll see that the load shoots down out of the wagons. Moggy says EWS livery looks like a rhubarb and custard sweet. Okay then, Moggy. You might find it a bit harder.
What about you guys? Well, I quite like the EWS livery.
If you tuck the camera down, start seeing the load shooting down that way.
Trying to have it in a decent position to see you. Oh dear. Shoved under the ground there by the building.
Hey Dex, how's it going? This is a PlayStation 4 version. Handcraft will be getting first Great Western deliveries for the HST and the 166. There is nothing announced about that, I'm afraid, at the moment. Yeah, don't go in the place.
Oh, look at that. I almost say that was deliberately timed.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Dex. Hey there, Eds. How's the console fun? Console fun is to the max. Are there any typeology or mixer? Are there any differences between the consoles? So functionally, no. They're identical game. Same gameplay, same scenarios, services, same locos, same routes, etc. Performance-wise, the PS4 edges out slightly ahead of the Xbox One, but it's not a big difference. It's very playable on both consoles. Almost there. If you want to get yourself back in the cab, and you'll be asked to press the X key and just make sure you see which brake you're on. Sorry, that's what I'm thinking about. It's the X key on the Xbox One.
Direct brake.
So you want the auto brake. There you go. It's ready for you. So you'll be asked to turn your throttle off with the right bump.
That's the right button.
Okay. And then
plus
apply your
brakes.
auto brakes. This is a PBL braking system, which so you can see the dials in the in front there. are all about the brakes. Everything about trains is about stopping them, to be honest. That's why the left-hand 4 gauges there are all brake gauges. So to switch up speed control.
That was great work. You should get that train over to Acton Yard, where it can be prepared before the return trip to the Mendips.
Right, so now we need to.
So your left joystick actually will operate the reverser.
So it does. There we go.
Release your brakes. Oh,
That one. There we go.
yep. Just to release. A little bit of power. What about Xbox One X, Blue Sun? So it'll the game will run fine on the Xbox One X and it will run fine on the PS4 Pro, but it's not got any souped up features, and so it won't take advantage of extra stuff on there. So it will run better on the One X and the PS4 Pro, but not at the level. It's not built for to do that. Right, so as you pull out here, you've got to stop just outside once you're out of the yard. What's the reason for making heavy haul PC only? It's not been built with consoles in mind. Stay a while forever. That there are a lot of challenges to making that one run on consoles. Never say never, but there's no plans at the moment. It feels quite different driving it on the controller, doesn't it?
It does. It feels very different.
It feels a bit more tactile than running on it, but you don't feel like you're losing anything, I've found. Eds, must say, you guys got the 66 sound pretty spot on. Saw one run by it the other week and it sounded just like it. Thank you, Eds. That's really good to hear.
Right, so better get going again. So, release the brakes.
Right. Stop at Acton Yard reception, 5.7 miles. I've got a bit of a run now. And you did be on the upgrade of the notifications of stations that you're passing. No. That is the same. The behaviour of the route in that respect is the same as in Founders Edition. By the way, we haven't got the safety system switched on, but they're all just as accessible, and they're accessible in exactly the same ways. It's all by the panel on the top here. So inside there are buttons. Again, that's your AWS. And then right circle is your turn it off to expose on. You can cancel. Okay. And then your DSD in the bottom. Okay. So, there you go. Obviously, normally you do that before you start moving, yeah? Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's no updates on the backporting at the moment for the diesel electric, but it's progressing. Yellow.
Beans kids saying Luke doesn't get paid this week if he mucks things up. Oh, pressure's on then.
DSD DVD always comes on, we need to go to the toilet, stay a while. Well, the good thing is the PS4 controller is wireless. As long as you can hear it, all good.
If only DSD was as easy to turn off in real life.
But is it waterproof? I think you're using it wrong if that's going to be an issue down to get the AWS. Why don't we try and grab a screenshot? There's nothing much going on at the moment. So if you go to the external view, use the rear camera. Let's line up a nice shot with a train. Camera in front of the train, the flag. When you like it, you just press the share button and then you press the train. That easy, folks.
Very quickly get out of the menu then because the DSD was going off.
Sparky Magoo, what are we doing? We're driving trains. So at the moment, we've just completed unloading the wagons. We're now heading off to a yard. We're now heading off to Acton Yard, where we will be then refueling the loco and heading off. Electrostar's work still going on into improving the console version. There is a finished article. This product is constantly evolving, and there's always work being done to improve various aspects of it. So while I'm not going to sit here and promise anything particular, I will say that Train Sim World is being constantly evolved and upgraded, not just with new content, but also with as new features are implemented and then changes are made to improve things. Unfortunately, you can't turn the HUD off in screenshots at the moment, Big John. No, that has been raised, so we can look at that. Has work started on West Somerset for consoles yet, or are concentrating on launch? So I've actually been looking at West Somerset on the Xbox One today, so we're keen on making really good progress on it. There's no date for a release date for it yet. We've just literally got it working. We're starting to evaluate what might need to be done to make it work even better, but looking good. Can you change time and weather in scenarios? So you can't in scenarios, but in service mode you can choose what you like. The track does the driving. You mean the steering? Yeah, the train will follow the track. The challenge with driving a train, Spark in Magoo, whereas, so like racing games, the challenge with a racing game is mastering corners. Yeah, anyone can drive down a straight bit of track. And so the challenge is how you win the race on the corners, or lose the race on the corners in my case usually. So the challenge with driving a train is stopping it, because one of the challenges is that, particularly going 53 miles an hour, we've got a freight train behind us, it's a heavy train, and if we put the brakes on, or if we see something that says, I need to stop now, it's too late. I'm not going to stop before I hit it, because the stopping time for HST, for a high-speed train doing 125 miles an hour is about a mile. So you've got a long time to get these things stopped. So you need to be putting a lot of trust and faith in the signalling is clear when it is clear. and that that you're paying attention to when the signal is telling you need to stop, you can very easily look away, look back, and not realise you've missed a signal and should have been braking by now. So there's an element of concentration. And then you've got stopping at station. So if you're coming into a station at 70 miles an hour and or approaching a station, if you're coming into it at 70, you're probably going to miss it. Not that I know anything like that. And so if you're approaching a station at 70 and you need to stop there, at what point do you put the brakes on? How much brakes do you put on? Because if you've ever been on a train and you stood on the platform, that train driver comes in and they get it nailed every time. They stop at exactly the right place. It's absolutely phenomenal to watch. So it's a real skill to learn how to stop a train in the right place and safely. And that's where a lot of the things. There are other additional things, like for example, if you're in a yard, how do you work? You need to work at how you move around the yard, changing switches and moving the train around. So there's lots actually of things to learn and do better. Not every time, no, but you'd be surprised how often they get it right. It is really cool.
On the subject of stopping, you can just about see over there in front of us, we've got a couple of yellow lights coming up, which is warning us that we are going to need to start stopping soon.
1.4 miles, I will get some heavy braking going. This might turn into a problem. On this train there are two types of brakes. So there's a direct brake and an automatic brake. So the direct brake is the brake that only sets the brakes on the locomotive itself. The automatic brake will set the brakes on everything, all the wheels that have got brakes, which is used on this train at least. Every axle will be braked. So if you are running light loco in a yard, you generally use the direct brake. It's quick, it's easy, it's very nice to access, and it's much better than using the automatic brake if you're on your own. If you're running a train and you want to stop, like on this instance, then why not get the wagons doing a lot of braking for you? You'll find that otherwise the train will be really bad to stop. So that's sort of where you will have a 15 up here. So
you guys saw how long it took us to slow down just now? That was using full brakes. So you really need to judge how long it'll take you to slow down.
You made it though.
Made it. We did have quite a few yellow lights warning us that it was time to slow down, as well as the AWS, which you were hearing going off just then. Just bring it under 15, 215.
That's actually another good point Moggy raises there. If you're starting on a hill, then you can find that the direct brake can help you there, because you can apply the direct brake to hold the loco, release the automatic brake, which is a much slower brake for full train, because you're operating air all the way and down the length of the train. So you use the direct brake to pin the loco, release the automatic brake so all the wagons have not got brakes on them anymore, and then you would apply some power and release the direct brake to be able to get moving again nice and quickly. Otherwise what happens is you release the automatic brake and you've got to kind of time getting the throttle on when you're not entirely sure when the rear of your train has actually released its brake. So there's some real challenge. Hill starts are another quite challenging thing for certainly the longer, heavier trains. What problems do you have driving from the outside? And don't forget the AWS. Apodity. So loco brakes are direct brakes, and automatic brakes are train brakes. Train brakes and automatic brakes are generally used interchangeably. Direct brakes and loco brakes are sometimes used interchangeably. Direct means to the locomotive, automatic means for the whole train. And then American trains also have a thing called dynamic brakes. Although not just American trains, German trains have things called electric brakes, which is essentially very similar.
The AWS is saying that you can't hear the AWS. That was often a problem outside the cab, not so much in TSW.
It's not a problem though. There's a specific setting in this, because I'm completely with you. Don't forget the AWS. So there is a setting in TSW so that you can have all your alarms external, audible. That one's heading out now that we're
You'll
in.
need to refuel before the return trip. So
No, you
catch
can't
the
remove the
wagon
HUD on
and
consoles at
move
the moment.
locomotive over to the fuel stand.
Right, so we need to uncouple.
Right, so you press triangle to stand up, and you need to X to open the door, X to open the other door, jump out.
Oh, there we go.
And what you might need to do is click the left joystick to crouch and walk under a little bit.
We'll try and find that sweet spot, don't we?
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, we're on. Good, now you can get back in the way. The weirdest one, there's no announcements about additional stock for Great Western at the moment. So you want the automatic to release it, but then what I would do is switch to direct once you're going so that you can take advantage of the easier start. Now remember the direct brake is manually lapped as well. So the direct brake on the Class 66 is what they call manually lapped. What that means is that it's got 3 positions, which are release, hold and apply. And as you put it in the apply state, it will just apply more and more and more brakes. And when you've got enough brakes, you pull it back into the hold state to say I've got enough now. And when you want to release less brakes, you put it onto release until you're done with it, and you put it back in hold. So if you've only got too much brakes, you can put it into release and then put it back into hold before it finishes releasing the brakes, just to brake a bit less effectively. It's a bit of a skill to get going, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite nice. Handcraft, I don't know if I'd agree actually. I think that once you get the hang of the controller, I find the controller really nice to use actually. But it definitely, if you're not used to using a controller, then it is going to be a challenge. But I must admit, I really enjoy using the controller of the game. What you might find easier is if you just look down a bit so that you can see the direct brake handle. Along the veiny side, and then so if you use the 2 buttons, you can then see. So I normally leave it in hold, and that way it's just one click then to get to the apply state.
So you were talking about using controls just now, so just to remind everybody, this is the first time that I've used a PS4 controller, and
Doing all right.
actually I'm doing alright with it. I'm getting the hang of it.
So you need to be all the way past that marker, so don't stop too early or it won't trip. Baked Bean Kid is being very positive and constructive, as usual. That's it, there you stop, there you go.
There we go.
Now what you do need to remember with this loco, you've left that in the hold state. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I make this mistake a lot, and so do a lot of other people. So the way the direct brake works on the Class 66 is obviously you've got 2 cabs. Yeah, and the direct brake, if you have it on hold state in one cab, can't release it in the other cab. Yeah, so you need to put that in the release state before you leave the cab.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so you'll now need to go out to, so if you, let's use the map view to change the switches, points, whatever you wish to call them. Right, so we are there, those are automatic, and these are the manual ones. So just that one you want to change actually.
What's that one?
Yeah, sex, because it flicks the other one with
Does
it.
the other one with it.
Those are linked. Right, that's all you need to do, because you're going to basically come across and then go straight back in the other way again. So what we can do now, so if you press the centre button again, right, what we could do now is change cabs. So if you sit back in the seat, you'll need to get your reverser handle. So put that in the middle, and then if you click on it, release it. Reverse handle. Keep with you. Can't tell you the number of times I've done this move. And I've had to go back to this top because I forgot. So, oh look, forgot the reverse lever.
Always forgetting the reversal lever.
Oh look, forgot to take the direct brake off. Oh my god.
Well, I'm sure you can rest assured knowing that you're not the only one to make the mistake of leaving the reverser handle behind. I've done that several times.
So, reverse handle in, forward.
Cancel the AWS, there we go.
Then switch to direct brake.
Direct brake, there we go.
You should be able to release it. You'll have to release your automatic as well. Yeah, you need to release the automatic because you pull the reverser handle out, all the brakes get forced on. Did you leave the cab without putting any brake on? So Bus Driver GP, when you pull the reverser handle out, it does a full service application automatically.
And now we're moving again.
You wondered, did anything carry over in terms of walking from Eurofishing, or is it all done from scratch? So actually there's a number of things that came over from Eurofishing and then were carried on. So the sky system, the environment, weather system started in Eurofishing when we carried on with them, and then they've gone back into the new fishing sim world and they've been advanced more in there. And then, so it's really just, it's two UE4 projects and it doesn't make sense to build the same thing twice. So it's really about both teams advancing technology as needed. Our third party is going to be allowed to make content for TSW. At some point, once there's tools available, yes, we'll as well. Don't see why not.
That's what we're heading for right there.
You like the cap, do you, Ed? Tell you what I like about it. It's all open vented on the back, so your head doesn't get really hot like it does in most caps.
If you really like the cap, keep an eye open for competitions that we'll be holding in the coming weeks, because you might find a chance to win one of these caps.
As soon as you're clear of that switch. Hey there, Ricochet, how's it going? There you go. So these are interlocked points, Ed, so in changing one, the other one changed automatically. Just go to map view, make sure you've cleared it okay before you go. There you go.
Yeah, easy.
So we'll need to change.
Change that one if I can get it. There we go.
And now check the next one. So if you hover over a junction on this, by the way, folks, notice it highlights it. So you can see, even though you've got a load of junctions here that are close, you can see clearly which one actually, what the one you're looking at is doing. So now we can check, because that one was wrong and Luke had to change it. So yeah, if you hover over them, you can see the path that the junction's set to take. There you go. So now we need to, that one's fine.
This one's on, so
If you need to release your direct brake. And pull the reverser handle out. There you go, you can see the brakes applying because the reverser handle's been pulled out, so this thing ain't going anywhere. Any news on the new route, Bus Driver GP? If you're referring to Rosie North, there is a new article today on the website, so if you want to head over there. The new screenshots, new information.
put that back in. Cancel the AWS. There we go.
Take the throttle off.
Oh, I did one. My bad.
Put it forwards.
Right.
Okay. Right, you need to release your automatics.
Around.
Don't forget the AWS, you've just had an email saying that we're live. What have you been doing for the last 80 minutes? We're just preparing and practicing for the live stream, yeah?
Yeah, haven't missed a thing.
No, that's fine.
You certainly didn't miss Matt testing out the emergency brake system earlier.
Not at all. That never got. Good news is it works, by the way.
Yep, we made sure.
Tested for you. Craigie, will there be any routes to add TS12 like King Cross to Peterborough? So there's nothing announced at the moment in the line of that route, but the Royal Zig North is the next route being released on PC, and then the West Somerset Railway and Royal Zig North will be coming to console at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future. Chris, is it an FSW car? No. Is it not? Have we got our club card for the floor? Yeah, did you bring the club card?
What's that? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
There you go. So you can leave your direct brake on, that's it, and get out and do the refuel.
Go out this one just so we can leave all the doors open.
That's what I recommend doing. Got too close to the stands, I've dropped it. There we go. So you need to press the that's it. Refill. I have no idea if it will be possible to buy them at a later date. At the moment, Dave. Let's find out how the competitions and things go.
Now the locomotive is ready to go. Get it hooked back up to the wagon.
Right, now you need to close that cab down. Not finished yet.
Not quite finished yet.
Not finished yet.
Right. There we go.
There's a direct brake released as well. Try and square. That's it. Of course, the brake stays applied because the reverser handle's been taken out. You put 4-star in instead of diesel, it'll be fine, AWS.
You know what, just to make sure that all the doors are open.
Air conditioning.
Absolutely. Especially on a warm day like this. AWS. Right.
Let's check the map to make sure we've got the right path. I think switching back towards the map.
Should be right there. Alright.
I've got no use for air conditioning AC. So your automatic rates are You got it, Eds. It's got to be polished. So running out to the head shunt at the other side of the yard, and then basically we run back onto the wagons. And that's the end of this one. So after this, we're going to do a bit of a rapid transit scenario. I'm not going to play the whole thing because time's marching on, and then we're going to we'll quick look at the freight stuff on Gordon's corridor, and then we'll finish up riding a train on Great Western. So we've got a bit of a way to go yet. If you're just joining us, we're running Train Sim World on the PlayStation 4. Standard PlayStation 4, we're not running the Pro, so it's the standard PlayStation 4. Game's coming out on July 24th. PlayStation, Xbox One, as well as a Steam relaunch with the bundled content. That's it. We've shut down that cab now. This scenario gets a little bit. You could just use an external camera and reverse, obviously. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, you gotta do it properly, haven't you? It's when you're down there and you look up at the logo.
It's amazing, isn't it? It just
yeah.
you don't really appreciate how big they are until from normal screenshots. You're always looking down on the locos, whereas when you walk around, it's like you find yourself looking up at them. You realise actually just how big these things are.
Right, just check the track.
Good to go.
It's automatically set for us.
So you've got to go into stop, and then you can pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I missed the stop, just go wandering off, pulling off. That's it, auto brakes released. Away we go. We've got a ground signal. Cleared into yard 1. We're not going to be running or driving a 166 tonight, Tomsy, but we are probably going to ride one. So we have to see them.
A three-way point there. Which looks really spectacular, doesn't it, the three-way points?
Thelonious, what happens with the 66 is that when you're moving, it actually puts an invisible barrier up, so you still can't leave the loco. So the end result ends up being the same. That's it. Buffer up. You can in low speed. Yes. Yes, there's a window. It's like the doors only close on the HST and the 166 above a certain speed, although that speed is quite low. But yeah, you can make the loco move slowly and still get on and off. Not that I have ever fallen out on many occasions. Getting tense now. That's it. That should be good enough,
wasn't it?
It's fine. That's what the buffers have got springs for. Specifically for Luke.
Yep.
Again, you might need to crouch, left, click the left stick.
Stick.
Closer.
Where is it? I thought so. Right there.
A job well
there we go.
done. Grab a break in the porter cabins by the car park.
Right, and that's it. Off you go.
Bit of a run back to the portal cabin there. Ed's saying I stalled it.
Hey there, Sim UK. Did you stall the train?
Did I? Don't think I did. I don't think I stalled it. There was a bit of a bump. But Spilt all the fuel. Just took it nice and gently, nice and carefully up to the wagons and then slammed into it at the last moment. So you know what, it's all good. There we go. Now we can hand back to Matt.
Right, so let us.
Want the earphones to go?
Let me have the audios, and you can take the hat. Oh, I'm all tangled up.
Wires everywhere.
Wires everywhere. Right, sorry, Baked Bean Kid, you're not going to be able to see this bit because of the shine in the corner here.
Well, it was Matt in a hat, but without the cat. Unfortunately, I now have the hat. So. Baked Bean Kid saying I earned my wages this week. £11.50 well spent. Indeed.
It looks better on it. Right, Eds, you're going on a list.
In all fairness, says it does hide my horrifying haircut with the receding hairline.
Right, a little bit of rapid transit. Just do a scenario, do rapid transit.
They're on the list that will receive a hat.
A list that will receive something, Eds.
Yeah, people seem to be saying again, is there a specific rollout time on Tuesday? Unfortunately, that's kind of out of our hands. It will be released on Tuesday, but it's not entirely under control exactly what time, so we can't say.
Well, welcome to Markkleeberg-Auschwitz at the southern end of the Leipzig S2 line. You'll be running a train from here to Leipzig Messe. We're not going to be running to Leipzig Messe, but I guess we're going in that direction. So if you want to sit, let me just show you how you do that. There is a trick to getting into the window seats. So if I come in here, so if you normally look at a seat and you press the triangle, you'll get into that seat. Yeah, that's what you're referring to. What you need to do is look, if you start up above and look down, you'll notice I'm now in window seat. It's a little bit of a trick, but it always works.
Pro tip bar there. Is it similar for the PC as well? Just have to get the mouse
down
up the top.
There you go. Oh, no, it didn't work. So when I said it always works, what I meant was most of the time it always works. There you go. So it is possible. Right. Let's get in here, shut the door. Sit in the seats. We need to open the doors. First thing I want to do is calm these lights down a bit. Let's get the headlights on. We need to get it forwards. Stand up and look on the back wall here because we need to turn on PCB and CIFA. Rebel County Corker, there's no other routes announced. The only routes announced at the moment are the Royal Sieg North one. Right, so we've got to clear out as soon as we're ready to close the doors.
For anyone interested in the Royal Nord route, there was a new article published today on that one with some new screenshots showing a lot of really nice content that we got for Royal Nord, so go check those out.
Right, we'll wait till 15:30, so 40 seconds, folks. Yeah, I fail a lot with PZB on. What can I say? I love PZB.
5 seconds. The red megaphone used to warn people that Matt is driving. That is precisely what it is used for.
Right. So this is all done in the combined handle. So just all the same as on the ACS64. Really, mostly it's all the controls are on the one on the right trigger and bumper. So we're in restricted monitoring at the moment. So again, if you hold down the internal cameras, and I can look at, say, screen 1, I can look at screen 2, so you can see PZB linking away. But if I decide, actually that was a green signal, so I'm going to release, then I just do that, and that's it, we've released from PZB monitoring. And assuming I'm right, we'll be able to carry on driving and get the next signal. And then I missed that C for indication, so fails are coming strong.
Right, where's the first Blaine Luke? I got a feeling it's coming. If anything, it's going to be Martin that runs that out for us.
Okay, we've not got any kind of PCB monitoring on, so we are good to carry on speeding up. However, we should listen for... there's no short key, sorry, for free Eds, but the short key for Waxham is the circle. Or if you're on an Xbox controller. I did it again. I forgot that this is a combined handle, so I thought I was reducing the throttle to 0. It's been a while. What can I say? I'm busy driving other German trains these days. I need to get my practice back on.
Yep, there it is, the Blaine Luke from Martin.
There you go. Thank you, Martin. Fully justified, I think. So, speed limit here is, looks like about 40. 45, something like that. What might be useful, you can change the screen. To black ones, and then the CFA shows it. Ah, the HUD is still on miles per hour. Let's fix that. Show you how to fix that. So if you come into here, you go to measurement units, change it to imperial, apply. See for beeps, I just mash all the buttons. Absolutely. Driving like a pro here.
I was a little bit guilty of the button mashing during my drive just now as well. Well, I think I got used to the PS4 controller fairly quick.
So the C for the circle button does P to B wax, and it also does C for acknowledge. Stopping here at Mark Bun.
See, Roger's asking, does the PS4 do a partial install to the hard disk?
No, it doesn't. Oh no. If you install it from a disk, I don't know what happens. I think it runs it from the disk. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to go with I'm not sure on that one actually, rather than make up a load of rubbish and be wrong. Right, so I've got no PZB shenanigans, so we can carry on. We're going to just Mockley Road now. Right, 1.2 kilometres. The town's got reasonably nippy brakes, so you don't have to worry too much about stopping too early.
Okay, so worrying about stopping too late. I was driving this a couple of weeks ago. So shall I have a little recap on the news that's been going on? We are of course doing a live stream on the PS4 today. Last week we had the OBV 1014 released for Train Simulator 2018, which was a Pro Range locomotive from Skyfit Games.
That loco is just amazing. I was running it last night on the stream, and the setup procedure for it is great, and it's really good fun to drive because you drive it by operating a constant tractive effort controller with speed set, so it's really quite different to drive as well. It's not standard throttle lever that you'd expect from most.
You also get 3 scenarios for the Semmering-Bahn route with the OBV 1014. So that is currently out, if you have a look for it on Steam. We also released a new article on Rules Ignored for Train Sim World.
New
that went out today,
screenshots.
so lots of new screenshots, definitely go check those out. A few days ago we also released our Train Sim World launch trailer, which is up on YouTube. You can also find it on Twitter and Facebook, so go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And we've also been doing our countdown images on Facebook and Twitter for the release on Tuesday for the consoles. So definitely check those out. We did have a couple of screenshot winners this week. This past week our screenshot competition was themed on Bridge. That's the theme. We had a lot of really, really brilliant screenshots submitted these last couple of weeks. It was very, very difficult to decide which ones were our favourites actually. And, for Train Sim World in particular, it all came down to the wire. We were almost looking at a 4-way tie. But yes, Antcraft picked ahead with his screenshot right towards the end.
Paramero, no, I'm driving. That's where it's going wrong.
Yeah, nice driving at the moment. I was driving the Great Western route just before this. So I was just saying that you couldn't submit a screenshot or close the forums post. Yes, I'm afraid the submissions for the screenshot contest ends on Thursday morning. This is to give everyone's screenshot the same amount of time to collect votes. So this week's screenshot contest is open now. The theme is water, so you have until Thursday morning to submit your screenshots, and then we'll start the voting.
Like I said, Talent's got fantastic brakes. All of a sudden I'm looking thinking, no, I'm supposed to be stopping here. So we have a look at collectibles. Have a look at collectibles. You'll find most of the German routes have got collectibles on most of this route have got collectibles on pretty much on the stations, because that's what there is. While the doors are open, Let's have us an explore. See what we can see. There you go, this is your first collectible. It's an empty map. When you walk up to it, it will give a map on there, so you need to look for those empty frames. What else have we got? Is there anything up here? Oh yes, there's cracks in the damage in the platform. When you walk up to it, it will put a hazard cone around the damage. Time to move on, I think. We'll look for another collectible somewhere else.
There's collectibles on all the routes as well. I was wandering around in GWE back home a few days ago and accidentally found some collectibles.
Oops. Probably shut everybody else's door as well, shouldn't I? Grit shovels, yeah, grit shovels are the one. Leipzig Kornowitz is next. A train coming in the direction. .4 kilometres to the next station. Ferromura, hopefully. It'll be late.
Much as I would like to, though, it'll be very, very late by the time I get home tonight. But hopefully I should be streaming over the weekend as well.
.900 metres. I'm not rushing, as you can tell. Slayer 90, there's unfortunately the exact release time's out of our hands, I'm afraid, but it'll be sometime on Tuesday. What you could do is, as soon as you see it, give us a shout on Facebook and let us know. Send us a screenshot of you upgrading your of getting your Xbox upgraded to the new version. That way other people will know as well, and you can shout from the hilltops, hey, it's out.
Mary's asking me what is my twitching. Martin able to answer that for us?
So yeah, we'll look around for some collectibles. Bigger station this one, so there's a bit more to hunt round. Oh, look. Oh, it says locked doors on only lane. Oh no, that's a first. Quick look over here. No, she's the stairs to get to the train.
Bitte achten Sie auf den Abstand zwischen Zug und Bahnsteigkante.
Oh look, a great shovel. We got loots. Time to get in. You can also get in via this here. Walk up the top of the train, open the door, and sit in the seat. You can do it that way as well if you want
was about to be impressed by your knowledge of where the collectibles are, but
I am entirely guessing.
and suddenly I thought about it for a moment. As it says, why is the train late? Driver's looking for a shovel.
Yep.
I think Luke is saying missed the first part of the stream. Any news on the
Rules ignored.
route? There was a new article published on the Rules Ignored route this morning, showing some nice new screenshots. So go check that out on Dovetail Live.
Electrostar plans to improve sleeper draw distance. It's something we're constantly looking to improve, but we've got to do it with paying careful attention to frame rate as well across all platforms. Because there's a lot of sleepers, so particularly if you get to yards and things like that. So it's just finding the right solution that keeps it as looking as good as possible, but also keeping that frame rate up where everyone expects it to be. I think Steam Trains will ever come to TSW. I hope so, Slayer 90. I love Steam Trains. Nothing announced at the moment. Right, coming up on Leipzig MDR. So we'll basically get into the tunnels and then we'll end this and we'll start having a look at the freight on the Northeast Corridor. Just trying to give you a really broad overview of what the scope of what's included and what you can do. I mean, we've run mostly scenarios here, so we're doing the next bits will be more in service mode, so you can see kind of how flexible service mode is and what you can do. So yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute, and I'll give you a walkthrough of what it means.
Faramero, I'll message you my channel name at the end of the stream.
He's off wandering again.
Finding more collectibles.
Oh, we failed this time. Yeah.
What was that map there behind you on the wall?
Ah!
Aha, there we go.
We have not failed. We have succeeded.
We found
All
something.
is good. Now I've got to run back. Ugh. This is where everyone's looking and saying, so whose idea was it to add walking in again so that Matt couldn't focus on what he was supposed to be doing? Close the doors again, shall we? If I had half a chance, I'd leave the doors open the entire time. It should be quicker.
All the time, just have the doors open and let everyone jump in and out as you zoom through the station.
Yeah.
And the passengers tuck and roll. Here comes one is saying at the moment he's stuck in New York Penn Station on the track. How do you move to the platform? If you have a look at the platform, sometimes you'll find a little step that you'll be able to climb up and get into the platform again.
Yeah, they're a little darker step. You should be able to, if you look along the platforms. There aren't lots of them, but if you look around and when you walk up to it, it'll say press button and you can climb up, press E or press triangle in the PlayStation case. So we're into the first of the underground platforms. So these platforms are done using a technique called light baking. So whereas outside it's dynamic light, in here it's not, it's static because it's all lit up artificially. And that means that actually the definition of the lights can actually go up. There's several hundred lights actually in this scene. And it means that you can make so much more detailed scenes. The reflection captures can be done much more detailed. It's these underground sections are really cool on this route. In reality as well, they are.
Slayer90 saying, "Wish I could play this now." Well, it is indeed coming soon to the
Won't be
PlayStation 4.
long. Tuesday.
We are doing our countdown on Facebook and Twitter. Flick saying can barely hear us over the CIFA. It's strange that because Matt's wearing the headphones, but I can hear the CIFA going off from here.
It's kind of loud.
Mm.
Station. Ferrimero, all of the underground stations on this route do, so this one does and the next three. And if you want to, you can walk through these tunnels as well. There's actually a footway either side of the train. So if you want to, you can walk through the tunnels. There is a torch as well. Maybe I should show you the torch. What we'll do is we'll get off here and we'll go wandering into a tunnel and I'll show you the torch. I love the fact that these stations are all so different in the way that they were designed, they had designers come in to actually model these stations. Rather than just put generic stations together, they paid up and fully designed. So right button or the L key on the PC puts the torch on, and then you can go a wandering.
We'll walk all the way to the next station, and then come back because you realise you've left the train behind.
Yeah. I think you can only go about halfway up here. Oh look! Down the grit shovel!
Lee John's asking, is Luke going to run freight on the NEC? I believe I will be.
So anyway, folks, that is Rapid Transit. So let's move on with the next one then. I'm just going to abandon that. Never mind. Health and safety procedures clearly absent here. Anywhere I am present, April's health and safety is in doubt. Right, so if we go over to NEC New York, so let me just give you a talk through about service mode. So service mode, so where scenarios here, these are like missions. So these are, you follow the instructions, you do what you're doing, at the end you finished it. The way that service mode works is it tries to replicate in a complete timetable. So for example, if I pick the ACS 64, this is where you can choose what weather you want, whether you want it raining or and so forth. So you can do that. There you go, snows, you can have winter. Well, I'll go for spring clear. So here you've got a list of all of the services. And you can see there are a lot of them. And these are all the services that are running up and down the route with various stops. And you can pick which one you want to do. Or, if you want, you can spawn on foot anywhere on the route and just watch trains. And we're going to do that next, after this bit. So, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here. Services. So let's pick the GP38. And we will turn some wind on. Wind will just make the trees blow, makes any wind turbines move around. And we'll leave that at that, I think. So now, when you're driving a freight train in this route, you have a freight service timetable. And the way the freight service timetable is presented, essentially, it's a day in the life. It's about 10 hours of gameplay in total for the freight services. And if you run them kind of in order, so if you look, you see FO1 would be the first one up here, and that's at 5:35 in the morning. So that'd be a nice short run to Harlem River Terminal. Some of them are switching, so you're moving wagons around. Some of them are a run between the Oak Point yard down to Fresh Pond. It takes about 20 minutes. And then some of them are doing just also a wide range of different things. So it's about, like I said, it's about 10 hours of doing all sorts of different activities in the freight. So, just so you can get an idea of what sort of things you can do, let us go with. Let's not do a short run to Harlem River. Let's do.
Don't forget the AWS is saying, hold on to your hat, Luke, the wind is on.
Yeah.
This hat has an adjustable back at it, so we can make it nice and tight and then just wedge it on. It's not going to go anywhere.
Delivery to Harlem River Terminal. Let's do that one, I think. See you later, Reds.
Just been handed the controller. There we go.
Dropped in the deep end. If you're just tuning in, we're doing Train Sim World, showing off the content that's going to be available on console, PS4, Xbox One on Tuesday, July 24th. We're streaming using the PlayStation 4 at the moment. I think you might have to end it after this, actually, given we're already at about 2 hours. That's the problem with this game.
We've already overrun a little bit, haven't we?
We've overrun about half an hour. But yeah, it's that's one of the things that with this game is that you quite often find that you'll dip in for a bit and then you look up and 3 hours have passed.
So easy to do.
So we're in at GP38-2, sitting at Oak Point Yard in New York, just east of New York Penn, so we're just about ready to. So we basically should be ready to go. So we press the map key, and let's just check our switches. So this is Oak Point Yard. Follow the blue line and just check the switches there. Good to go. That's the path into Harlem, so keep going there then. So if you just want to go ahead and release, moving forwards, release your brake. So we're on dynamic brake at the moment, so you need to press X. Independence, there you go. Press X again. And that's it. So press the button, give it some juice. So what you can do is, if you were to spawn in on foot around this area at around 6:20 in the morning, there's a full 24-hour timetable, and it runs in real time. So if you spawn in on foot around here at around this time of day, you'll see the AI drive this train and do what Luke is about to do. And in fact, you could just climb on and just let the train, the AI, drive you around. So the trains will do their thing. You can choose to pick any of these services up and drive it, or you can let the AI drive it. You can open the doors in some of the wagons and jump in the wagons as well. Turn the game noise down a bit. How's that, folks? Is that better? Let me know if I need to turn it down some more. So if you want to jump to an exterior view. So we're in a CSX YN3 livery GP38-2. Oh yeah, we're still running on metric. Get lovely glow from the sun at this time of day. Be careful, you're on the downhill now. Let's just check your map. Actually, we can throw it on to speed. So you check the map, and let's just follow the path round. Just turn you around here. Make sure it's that junction in Sandy.
Man, speed.
So, as we come up to the waypoint here, you want to just double check the route again. Make sure we're getting to the right side. What's really nice about some of the service mode stuff is it really varies in length quite wildly. So some of the service modes these services may only be 5 minutes to do, and some of them might be 2 hours to do. So there's a really wide variety of stuff. So if you've only got 5 minutes and you want to do something, there's 3 or 4 things you can pick from. Similarly, if you want to do lots, so you want to spend a whole evening playing the services, you can just change from one service to the next service, or drive a train, get out, spend half an hour watching trains, then a train arrives and you think, oh, I fancy driving that, get on that train and drive that train. So it's really how you want to play the game. It's sort of like a sandbox. Obviously with a passenger route like Great Western or Rapid Transit, you can take yourself from station to station by getting on as a passenger, sit down on a seat, let the AI whisk you away somewhere along the route, and at some point decide to get off, or even just decide, you know what, I think I can do a better job than the AI, and you can jump over to take over the train. There's no time skip or teleport functions at the moment planned, Polonius, but I'm certainly aware that a number of people in the community have requested that feature.
Surprises me actually how easy it is to pick up the controls on PS4. Because at first I thought, oh, this is going to be quite daunting actually, there's so much that I'm able to do, but after just a few minutes playing it, it'll start suddenly making sense.
One of the things I think it takes a bit of getting used to is there's so much you can do with the train. There's so many buttons and switches, and there's so few on the controller. Your immediate thought is usually, how does that work? So you're thinking, it's going to be really awkward, but actually, as you say, it flows quite nicely. Get down the end of this siding. This is just a really quick look. We'll do some more on Tuesday when we stream for a bit longer. At the rate we're going, it'll be much longer. And you'll be able to see a bit more.
John saying that I mentioned earlier on rolling stock with the deluxe edition. I did indeed mention that earlier on. With the deluxe edition, you get the GP40-2 loco and 2 bonus freight car types used on the NEC.
I don't know, I'll see what time I get home, citrus sausages. That's certainly the plan. I think we're having too much fun now, we've gone on a bit. Good evening, Chris. Andrew GWB, we will do that next, and then that'll be it. Ideally, I would have prepared for this, known a spawn time that would wait for a train. But I'm not which can be unpopular, so I'll show that.
That is very spectacular. Quite a view from there. Right.
So it's the yellow bar on the right hand side you need to push. Releases the knuckle. And that's it. That's all there is to that service. Some of these services in the NEC Freight are really quite simple. They're good enjoyment. But if you carry on with this train will now do other things, and it will then head back up to Oak Point, and you can follow it on through the entire course of the day. Sometimes there's a several-hour gap between what it does, but you can come out and jump back in again to pick up the next one if you don't want to wait for it, or watch other things that are going on. So there's certainly plenty there to keep you amused. And the service mode is in all 3 routes. Obviously, it's focusing on different things depending on what the route is all about. But freight services is just one of the things that you can do with this. So let's just have a quick look at. We will finish up with a quick look on GWE. So Andrew GWE asked the question: can you tell me how to spawn at a location to wait for a train? So we will jump to the GWE route. We'll go to spawn on foot. And we will click the menu. I just think it's so amazing now that you can play Train Sim at this kind of quality. This is great frame rate, it's looking awesome, and it's on
the PS4.
It's on PS4. Yeah. I mean, anyone, they're so cheap to pick up a PS4 or Xbox One now, compared to the amount of money you'd need to buy a PC to run modern games. It's incredible. It's just so cool that it's on this. And it's really good when we're out talking to people at shows, being able to tell them that if they don't have a PC, they can just run it on a console, because they've probably already got a console. And if they don't, it's such a really great value thing to pick up.
And like I say, this is just the basic PS4. The one that we're running on it right now is just the basic one. It's not the Pro one.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we've got a Pro in the other room, and it's it runs quite nicely on that. Right, so I'm going to leave the weather as it stands, just to keep it simple. So now I can. I should tell you what I'm doing, shouldn't I? So from the main menu, service mode, you want the spawn on foot option to change your weather, and then if you come down here, you can just pick which station you want to be. So I'm going to go with Slough will do, and we will drop it so you can see the real time. You can see what time of day is going to look like roughly in the background there. You can see it changing. So let's just put it forward a bit. We'll go for a 6:45. That'll do, and we'll press the options button to get started. And that's it. That spawns you on the platform you picked at the time you've chosen with the weather you've chosen. The world will now set itself up to how that works, to where it is. So the world will wind itself forward to 6:15, place all the trains where they would be at that time, and then you can go ahead and just what you do from that point is entirely up to you.
Citrus Sausage is saying, Luke, do you know the name of the man who advertises Train Sim World as Matt doesn't? You mean advertise it as in on Facebook and Twitter?
Or do you mean the bloke on the artwork? I think his name is Simon, but someone might be just pulling my leg on that one. I don't know.
It's the man who appears in all the artwork. Well, he was a model, but I have no idea what his name is.
Right, so here we are. We're on foot on the platform. Let's have a quick look at map view and see how badly we timed this. So when you look around, you can see what trains there are because they'll show up on the tracks. This is not looking good.
There's one.
Got an HST heading the wrong way. There's a 166 coming for us. That's one. There's... Nope, he's going the wrong way.
Yeah, he's going the wrong way. We missed one.
Just missed it. You know, that happens to me all the time. I spawn in and there's a train leaving.
So right. A little bit of a gap.
There's a little bit of a wait for the next train, but that's fine. You know what that means. Collectible time!
Collectible time. Yeah, Citrus was meaning the bloke on the artwork. Yeah, we're not entirely sure what his name is. Let's just call him Simon for now. Why not?
Awesome-o. Hey there, Reptile Rick. How are you doing, sir? I seem to remember up here, because I always pick it up accidentally. There it is. There's a bat up down there. Let's look over here. I know where there's a painting. There's a map down the end of the middle platform. So let's have a look down here. We have a moment until the train arrives. No, my luck will miss it. But never mind. On this route, one of the collectibles is a small sign on the wall. So.
Oh, thinking about it, could you also empty the bins? Was that this route or?
No, you can't empty the bins.
Or was that a different route?
It was one that we talked about. I don't think it's gone into any of the routes. Oh. I walk into lampposts frequently. So anyway, someone was asking about if you fall on the tracks, like so, how you get back on the platform. This is how you get back on the platform. You're looking for one of those.
Sneaky steps.
Sneaky steps. Let's head over here. There's the map.
Ticket checks are in operation at this station.
Citrus Sausages, have you spoken with the support team about that? It's certainly, it is there, but for some reason, sometimes when you're driving along it doesn't show up. We don't know why, and it's not something we're now to reproduce either. Looks like it might be collectible-y. I'm just going to run out into the tracks without looking. Another map.
Yeah, the health and safety exec watching Matt at work is just, having a nightmare.
The train will be coming down this side when it gets here. We'll have another look at the map in a minute, see where it is. Where are you, train? There he is. One stop away, so it's not far now.
RJZ0235 is asking the pre-launch stream for what? This is the pre-launch stream for Train Sim World on consoles. We are playing it currently on a PS4. And PS4 launches on Tuesday.
PS4, Xbox One, yeah. We will be back here on Tuesday, celebrating the launch on console, full launch on console.
We're doing an extra long stream on Tuesday. Although, saying
The
that,
rate
there's
we're going at the moment.
a little bit of an extra long stream tonight as well, but there we go.
That's just how much we love this game. Reptile Rick, so the July release, July 24th release, is about taking the Northeast Corridor, Great Western Express, and the Rapid Transit routes and bundling them into one package and then sort of wrapping everything together into one major release and then putting that out on Xbox One, PS4, and also then tied sort of doing that on Steam as well. Obviously that content's already available on Steam, but sort of wrapping everything in a bow so that everything's on the same level. That means that we can then do other things once all the platforms are at the same level. This is Great Western Express. This was the first route that was launched, Reptile Rick.
Graham is asking, will the launch stream start around 1ish as well? We are considering starting a little earlier. Not as early as 1. But I think...
It probably means 1 EST.
Oh, 1 EST. Not entirely sure 1 EST, but...
Do we get paid for this or is it fun? Both.
Both?
We don't get specifically paid for doing this, but... Trains are awesome, what can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Right, we're here. It's almost here.
If you see anything,
Where can I get hold of a TSW cap?
tell a member of staff.
Wait for news of competitions.
Mm-hmm. The cap that I'm modelling today, and Matt was modelling earlier. And
The pin.
it's got the pin badge right there.
Can't really see.
And also the shirt that I'm wearing that has driver written on the front. And
Take it off.
there it is. It's got driver written on the front. It's got the logo on the back. These are
Yeah, I
all
want one of them
part of
shirts.
the merches. Yeah.
I'm going to mug Luke on the way out.
But yeah, these are all items of merchandise that we've been collecting up recently, and we're going to start giving it away in competitions in the coming weeks. So keep your eyes out for the competition announcements.
If I can hold it, it's so small.
Yeah, there we go. There's the badge.
That's just a metal pin badge with a thing on the back. Which is upside down. There you go. There's this train.
There's the train. Oh, it's on its way.
There he comes.
Nearly there.
Walking down the street.
Should be able to see
There he
him. There
comes.
he is.
What do you mean I may not sit in first class BMJ Epic? I'm going to stomp my feet in entitlement.
Have we got the wrong ticket?
I haven't got a ticket. Shh.
Oh.
I've got a global rover. I don't need a ticket. SMNTB, will head motion be implemented while driving a training test? It's definitely on the list of things to do, yes. It's quite visibly needs some work. You can see the motion of the train bouncing on the springs, but what you need is then the head moving around the cab, so yeah. Don't have a date for it or anything like that yet, but suffice it's on my list. So yeah, this train is driven by the AI. I'm not driving it, I'm just going to get on, and I'm going to sit in that's first class. Is this first class? No, it's standard class. Ooh, hello. Hey!
This bit's first class, there we go.
So yeah, same trick. If you want to sit in the window, look down, and then look at the top, and then look down. Look at the top, look down, and then you can sit on it.
And of course, the great thing about service mode is that we could drive this train if we wanted to, or we could just sit in the passenger seats.
I have the option if I want to. I can walk up through here because in the game you represent a railway employee, so it's quite reasonable for you to walk up here and say hello. What's going on? Oh hello, where's he gone? Come back.
Driver's off on a tea break.
Driver's off on a tea break. We'll leave him to it. When you sit down, you can even call up the external camera. So you can still enjoy the exterior views even though you're not driving the train. So it's a kind of a passive way to enjoy the game. If what you want to do is just enjoy the route and enjoy sort of the experience of being around the trains, and you can do that without having to necessarily drive the trains. I speak to a lot of people, especially elderly people or those who want to get the really younger children interested, and they really like this because they don't have to go through the efforts of trying to learn how to drive the trains. If all they want to do is just enjoy the experience.
I see Ancraft has just appeared in chat. Congratulations for winning the screenshot contest this week, Ancraft.
We need to show those screens in a minute, don't we?
We do, yes.
We haven't shown those yet.
Very quickly show those at the end.
Bars on the very front end wheels of the train. I don't know what you mean, Faramara. Oh, the motion blur. So on the PC you can turn motion blur off, but on the console you can't at the moment. Curb Knight asks, where are we now and are you able to teleport to a train station? No, if you want to teleport, essentially you come back out to the menu and rejoin again. Where are we now? We left Slough, we're heading eastbound towards Paddington. Just going to go to the next station stop and then get off the train, and then we are going to finish up. Sounds like we're slowing down. I'm always Mr. Impatient on trains.
Yeah, you're always the one standing there right next to the door just poking at the buttons waiting for the lights to turn on. Roger's asking, is this available for the Sega Mega Drive? I'm afraid it's not.
Yeah, you're talking about motion blur, Faramara. If you're on the PC, Control F2, I think, turns it off. Or Control 2.
Yeah, I think it's Control F2.
But yeah, on the console you can't turn it off. That's it. And this is us at wherever this station is. There's a signpost somewhere. Apparently. This is the station without signposts, it seems.
Try the middle island. Langley. Yeah, Aircraft confirmed it for us. It is Control F2.
Yeah, Control F2. Oh look, collectible time. You can just walk anywhere you like. There's boundaries that stop you walking in crazy places, but you can walk anywhere up and down the track, on the track, and anywhere you like, really.
Knight's asking, are you able to speed up time?
No.
But again, as Moggy says, if you want to zoom forward to a different time in the timetable, you can just go back to the main menu and load in at a different time.
So you can literally do 24 hours hopping on and off. Yep. Yeah, you could start off spawning in at Old Oak Common and watch the trains coming out of Old Oak running into Paddington, or you could sit in Paddington and wait for them to come in and maybe ride one up to Reading, and you know what you do is entirely up to you. Riding trains, driving trains, you can do as you wish. Right, I think we've shown probably more than we thought we were going to tonight of this, but I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back on Tuesday, but before we finish, let's have a look at some competition winners.
Yep.
Take us through it.
This was the Train Simulator 2018 winner this week. Our theme was Bridge, and this screenshot was submitted by Meepa5.
So, who can tell me which bridge?
That is a very good question.
Which bridge is this, folks? And for bonus points that mean absolutely nothing, what's the logo? Test a little bit of train knowledge. Antcraft.
Antcraft saying
Nicely
Hellgate.
done. Hellgate Bridge is indeed correct.
Saying Hellgate.
It is Hellgate Bridge in New York. And it is the Amtrak AEM7. The toaster or the toast rack or whatever they call it.
And again, they're straight
Toaster,
up.
there you go,
well, so
there you go. So that was by Meepa5. Congratulations, Meepa5. And then this one.
And this was our Train Sim World winner. And this one was submitted by Antcraft, who is in chat right now. So congratulations, Antcraft. This was a very, very lovely screenshot.
So this one's in Train Sim World. Who can tell me what the train is?
Well, I've accidentally just given that one away.
HST, yes indeed, Ferramera.
Yes, this was a very, very close one actually, because on the Train Sim World thread, I actually extended the voting time a little bit because we were looking at a 4-way tie. So it was very, very close. And yes, Antcraft just pipped ahead in the last few seconds really before the time was called. So, yep, here's our winner this week. Very well done, Antcraft.
Well done indeed, Antcraft. So let's have a quick look at that again. So there's this one by Meepa5, on Hellgate Bridge, and then this one in Train Sim on Great Western Route by Antcraft. So, yes.
Thank you very much to everybody who entered last week. We had a lot of really good screenshots submitted, and they were just fantastic. And,
it seems like everyone's really enjoying getting into the spirit of
getting into it now, yes. So we have another one running right now on the forums. The theme this week is water.
Water. What a good idea. I went there, folks.
Send your groans on the postcard, everybody.
Okay, I think that's all we've got time for. Plus a bit. Thanks very much for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this evening's show. We'll be back, as I said, on Tuesday. Remember, July 24th is launch day for Xbox One, PS4, and also on PC on Steam, where the full retail edition will be updated. We'll see you on Tuesday, and
We will see
we're
you
looking
then.
forward to hearing your stories of playing the game. Hopefully, it'll be some of you will even have been playing it by then. So yeah, do come and tell us.
Yep, Shadow's already saying that we're doing 3.5 hours on stream today already. Well, it was kind of the planned length for Tuesday as well. So.
It was 2.5. We started at 6.
Was it 2.5?
Yeah, we started at 6. So yeah, it's 2.5.
There we go.
Not quite 3.5. 3.5 would be a bad thing.
Well, we are planning for 3 hours on Tuesday, so hopefully we'll see you all then.
Nice to meet. All right, folks, take care, and we will see you on Tuesday. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye bye.
Cheerio.